Let's see. Hey, how's it going? Just getting in here. Working on a new Yolandi Visser piece. Um, let me see. Yeah. Anyway, decided to turn her into a superhero again. And last time I turned her into Batman. This time I'm going to turn her into like a Superman type character or Superwoman. This one's got very, very minimal airbrush use in it right now. I just kind of misted a yellow ochre for the base flesh. I did a very detailed drawing on this one. So I mean, almost all of the shading was done. All the areas that are cut out that are going to take a darker pigment. And I'm just kind of hitting it now. I'll start filling in with the paintbrush. You can see I've already done the head, and I've already finished that up for the most part. Let me try and give you a better shot of it. Oh, too bright. Anyway, just kind of like that. I've worked in most of the detail there, a lot of the shading. I don't know if this is just a phase in me with these paintbrushes, or if this is just the new way I paint. I still do some work that's primarily airbrush, but I just get a totally different effect using the paintbrushes mixed in with my airbrush. I don't really have any. Actually, no, I don't. I don't have any schooling in painting with a paintbrush and color mixture and things like that. But I do enjoy playing with it and seeing if I can actually do it. Like I said, I really don't have any schooling at all as far as mixing colors and making things look good or making things look natural. Excuse me. So my take on this is a little more. I guess it's a little more stylized. Because I don't have, like I said, I don't have the knowledge that goes along with years of art school to piece something like this together. But I don't know if I really care much about that, because I've kind of I've been at it long enough, and I know how to blend colors together to make them do what I need them to do. And I just kind of follow the roadmap that is my reference piece. And when I finished this drawing, it was done with the darker areas were done with a 6B. So it was kind of a loose it's kind of a loose pencil. So if you don't seal it, then your pencil will rub off. But since I sealed this, my pencil doesn't go anywhere. I just used a little workable fixative by Krylon, and just a real light dusting of workable fixative, and I let that dry, and then I can get to work, and I don't have any issues with smearing around the excuse me. Man. Anyway, I don't have any issues with moving the pencil around anymore because I've sealed it. Yeah, I've been I don't know if you all remember a couple of years ago I opened a studio here in Albuquerque, and it just kind of there was times where it was easy for me to go down there and paint, and I wasn't like open for business, per se, but uh, some people would contact me and I'd invite them down and we'd talk about a project or two, and I'd either accept it or I wouldn't. Well, um, I got to the point where I was actually just kind of losing myself while I was painting, and when more and more people started showing up, it just kind of got to be a distraction, and I kind of lost my focus. So I moved myself after about a year and a half of being down there. I moved myself back to my house, and I, last year was also the year that my daughter decided that she wanted to live with her boyfriend, so we went through a little ordeal with that. But that's not what I really want to talk about. So I ended up taking. I had an extra bedroom in the house now, obviously. So I ended up just moving all the majority of my uh, art studio into this bedroom, and this is where I do my stuff now. I get up in the morning, I grab a cup of coffee, and uh, I sometimes I stay in pajamas all day long and I paint. Uh, I'm not. I've taken a couple of commissions, but I'm not really looking for any commission work right now. I just I have stuff that I want to paint, and I have I think my wife just got on. And I have things that I want to put down on canvas. I have paintings that I want to get done uh, for other people that I've promised paintings to. And hang on a sec, I'm gonna go greet my wife, and then I'm gonna shut my door, and I'm gonna get back to work. So I'll just kind of leave that there. And that's it. I'm back. Where was I? I don't remember. But oh yeah. So anyway, I still owe some people some work and stuff that I really want to do, and um, my head is just kind of like immersed in new ideas that I have right now, things that I want to try. Like I said, I never spent any time in art school, so I don't really. When I pick up a paintbrush or anything like that, I it's always a new thing for me. Um, it's always new, and I'm not comfortable with a lot of it. Like this stuff that I'm doing right here with the paintbrush, trying to blend colors and make colors work, and I'm using very, very thin um, acrylic inks, and I thin them down even more. So it's basically like working with watercolors, but um, I'm working on Bristol board. I'm not working on watercolor paper at all. I just like the texture and the way Bristol reacts with the acrylics. I don't get much wrinkling, but then I'm not going so heavy with the water either, to where I'm not oversaturating an area because it will bubble up, and I've done that before, and it's kind of hard to get it to sit back flush again. But he said I've got like a couple of really cool commissions to do, and one of them is a good friend of mine from the veterans art group that I'm a member of. He's a Vietnam veteran, combat veteran, really good guy named Jim, and he wants was very flattered that the last airbrush, or I'm sorry, not airbrush, last veterans art show he's always been a very vocal admirer of my work, and he asked me if I was taking commissions, and I told him sure, I'll do something for you. What did you want to get done? So he brought me in a couple of photos of him from Vietnam. He was a dog handler, and so I've got a couple of pictures of him and a couple of pictures of his dog, and we're just gonna work those into a nice little painting for him. And then I've got a very large canvas, and I've already started it, but I don't want to show any of this because I keep changing my mind the direction I'm going with it, which probably isn't a smart thing to do because then I'm spending 2 more years painting it. But it's actually a southwestern theme, and so it's I spent a lot of time thinking about it before I decided to start laying the airbrush to it. So, I'm just kind of I've got in all the little shadowed areas just drawn in with hatching and cross hatching, and I'm just kind of filling that in, laying some color right over the top of it. Not really following the line work, just going over the top. I'm not really concerned that it still shows the line work through the paint. It's kind of why I have it there. And when you paint in over reduced acrylics, you're going to get that, and there's just no way around that because I'm not doing anything to cover up those pencil lines. I mean, this paint isn't thick enough to get in there and cover it up. So I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. I kind of lay a light coat down first, just to kind of map out my area, and then I'll get in there and I'll lay another layer once that layer dries, and it'll just build up, and it'll give me more shadow, more contour, and then I'll let that dry, and I'll go back in and I'll do another layer less reduced. I'm trying to get into the habit of finishing sections of painting instead of like with her. I finished the face and the glasses and everything's done with that, and I don't really have anywhere else to go with that face. Maybe a couple of highlights. I'll just keep looking at it as I'm painting it, and if I need to go back in like I'm doing right now, I want to accentuate the side of her nose a little bit more shadow, but just a little bit, just to bring her out, give it a little more shape. I keep thinking it's been a while since I've done something like this, but I really haven't been that motivated to talk while I'm painting. So some of the live streams I do are just me painting and occasionally, grunting out a word. Uh, well, the situation with my daughter last year really kind of blew my mind, so I backed away a little bit. Second guessing myself. Did I, was I really that much of a jackass? You know, how much different could I have been as a dad? How much more lenient and how it's you just never know until you're right there on the edge of it, whether or not you're doing the right thing, and all you can do is hope that you're doing the right thing. Raising kids isn't easy, and yeah. Like some of these areas, like right beneath the navel, I'm trying not to leave so many hard edges there. I want it to be a little softer. So what I'm doing here is just a really light tinting of distilled water, and I'll leave it a little damp, and then I'll come back in with just a little bit more of the oxide red. I just kind of let it flow out, almost like a watercolor painter would do, um, which is something that I learned from watching watercolors all over YouTube, or watercolor painters rather. So, and it has a neat effect. You still get a hard edge, but then you have the softer edge from behind it with the when you lay the tinted water down. So I'm kind of happy with this piece, the way she's coming out. I know I'm all over the place talking over here. One subject to the next. Maybe I should make notes while I'm doing this so I can stay on topic. But like I said, my brain just goes everywhere when I'm painting, and I really enjoy my solitude when I'm doing the work. And when I close the door to my studio, I might as well just be on the world alone, because my wife doesn't bother me. She doesn't open the door. My son might occasionally, but yeah, that's forgivable. My wife she doesn't like to bother me when I have the door closed, because she knows I'm busy and I'm into something that I'd rather not be disturbed with about or on. But I rarely close the door, because, like I said, my wife's actually really good about letting me do my work and not getting not bothering me unless somebody actually needs a kidney. I'm kind of digging this. This is a Yolandi Visser Diantwoord rapper. Yeah, her name is Yolandi Visser. She was in that movie Chappie, and I just kind of developed a big crush on her. And I like painting her, not like a stalking you and seeing what you're doing every minute of the day kind of crush. Just kind of a, I like her. I like her look. It's very unique, and she makes a good model because she has absolutely no. Uh, I want to say inhibitions, but that's not the right word because she, she doesn't really. She's one of those people that she dances um, like nobody's looking. Yeah, she does whatever she wants when she wants. She doesn't care what anybody says or thinks about it. She lives, and I kind of respect that. Same thing with her husband or boyfriend or whatever the hell he is, um, Ninja. He was also in that movie Chappie with her. They just kind of do their thing and don't really worry about what the rest of the world says or thinks. Which is pretty rare in today's society where everybody's looking for approval for one thing or another. Everyone looks to see how many likes they can get, and I'm honestly getting a little tired of all that because I think it just. I'll save my judgment rant for another time. Um, let's see, where am I? Here we go. Just a little too heavy. There we go. Yeah, she doesn't have this tattoo, obviously. It's just it was a little idea of my own, just to kind of do her the little Tupac Thug Life tattoo, but hers is Zeph Life. That's their thing. I don't know what the hell it means. It must be a South African thing. Let's see, I'm gonna get some dark going on now. Okay. Now these deep darks that I'm working on right now on the edge line of her top, I'm gonna exaggerate and I'm gonna make them really dark, but I'm gonna add some purple to the umber that I'm using and give those not quite a black, but a very dark shadow that doesn't have to be black, but it's pretty close. I've used it right in here. This is umber and purple or violet. So, water. Okay. The purple gives it a little more life You can tell it's a shadow, but you know it's not black. But you can tell it's really dark. And when I go over my really dark pencil lines, it fills in dark, and then when I get off the line, you can see the purple tint to it. And then I'll put a little bit where I have a darker shade going on in the image here. So just a little, just kind of dot it in there, and then I'll pat it dry with my finger so it just doesn't pull up into an actual dot, but it spreads the paint out and gives it a nice flow for the shadow. I always manage to get into a point of the painting where it's a little bit boring, I guess, just filling in the shadows. But you can see I'm actually working this pretty good here. I got a nice little flow going with it. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for right now. I'm gonna take a little break, maybe get a little lunch. But hey, thanks for checking it out. I appreciate you guys um, watching the video. And if you have any questions about anything I do, feel free to leave a comment, and I will be more than happy to answer your question the best I can. Like I said, I've worked as a professional artist, um, mainly with the airbrush, but I really I like sharing new things I've learned and picking up tips from other people as well. But anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you all soon.